let's settle down. This young lady is from Northern California. She takes care of her dad. She is a community leader up there. She also serves on a couple different boards of directors. She has a landscaping business, her and her husband. They also have several businesses. And when they saw network marketing, she said, I didn't need anything else, but this made sense. And she just cleaned her plate off a little bit, found a spot for this, put her head down, and went to work. I just recently talking to her. She's Mr. Thomas. I'm back to it. I'm getting back on the. I'm coming back. I'm coming back fierce, and I'm coming in hot. And I said, Lord have mercy. I love to hear that. So without further ado, all the way from Northern California, and we love her stories. I love when she's in the car driving with her top down on a car and just sharing the things and just being real with everybody, giving you tips what she do to build her business. Let's give a warm welcome, family, to none other than Regional Vice President, Ms. Keri Roeder.
Good Monday morning. I tell you, I was so excited for this conversation, just to see all of you beautiful people. I woke up at 5:30 this morning, and any of you who know me know that if I don't have anything to do, I roll out of bed maybe around 7, right? So I woke up, I was like, woo! And I went back through an assignment Mr. Thomas gave me on Friday night when we talked, and I went through preparing for our conversation today. So I always appreciate the opportunity to be on these calls and have these conversations, because I know it is a big charge that we are given when we are asked to be on these calls. So congratulations for those of you who are new. Welcome to the team. I like to make sure that everybody who is new understands the gentleman we were just listening to. He is one of the most successful people, not just in ACN, but in network marketing globally. And you put it across all network marketing companies. He is just truly a servant. He is here to teach all of us what it is he's done in order to have the success that it is that you're looking for. And if you're like me, that you want to have the level of success that he has had. Last Monday, he announced his ebook. So if you have not printed it out yet and read it, make sure you do that right when we get off this call. It's a very quick read. I'm going to give you the same assignment that he gave me. Read it, highlight, take notes, go back, read it, your own highlight notes again. It really makes an impact on everything that you have going on. So last week we talked about, and thank you for those of you who have your cameras on. I really like to be able to see faces. So last week we talked about tools, right? The different tools that we have, when presenting customer acquisition. We talked about your mindset being one of your biggest tools, right? And so as I was reading through Mr. Thomas's book, for those of you who haven't read it, I don't want to blow it for you all together, but I do want to kind of capture some highlights that I took out of this book, because it has to do with today's conversation. So what I want to tell you is this. Before I printed it, and then before I sat down and read it, I actually, I have angel cards. So I don't know if you guys know what angel cards are, but angel cards are, and there's different kinds. My dog helped me. He loves them. He ate the box. But anyway, angel cards are done differently, right? By different people. These are my angel cards. And basically when every day, but when I need to talk to my angels, I will sit quietly and I will ask my angels to talk to me and communicate with me with words. And so I pull angel cards. And so right before I read Mr. Thomas's book, Mr. Thomas and I had a phone call. And I shared with you, some of you a while back, that, there's some really life-changing, not good things happening in my world right now. And yet, when we go into our ACN environment, those don't belong in the conversation, right? So one of the things is that being able to lean on people that you trust, right, to guide you through life and through ACN. And Mr. Thomas is one of those very few people. I'm a very social as I am. I'm extraordinarily private. But we were having a conversation, and I was disclosing to him kind of my goals and aspirations, and how I know what I'm designed to be, how God has designed me to be. And I know that I'm designed to be mic'd up and trained on the stages of ACN in front of 25,000 people. I've had the privilege of 5 or 6 times of Mr. Provenzano asking me to speak at the podium in front of the 25,000 people. And it felt right. I know that I'm designed for this. As and I'm telling him all this, he starts giggling. He goes, Mrs. Roeder, do you know how many hits you have from the podcast? I said, no, right? And so he said, Friday, it was like over 5,200 hits already in less than 2 weeks. And so he said, you already are impacting the world. And so what ended up happening was I sat down and I asked my angels just to give me whatever message I needed for the day. And they tell me how many to pull. The very first one is called career transition. And then the quick little summary is your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. So for me, and we're going to talk about part of his book, that very much has everything to do with one of the goals that I have. The next angel card says life review. Take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. The next one was counselor. You're a natural counselor, and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. And then the last one was you know what to do. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. I want to read you more because then mine has a book and you can read more about not just a little caption, but you know what to do. You're far wiser than you realize, and your inner wisdom has already given you the answers that you seek. Embrace this knowledge and trust it. If you're doubtful, ask me to give you clear signs to validate your thoughts and ideas. I can also help you put your ideas into action and make decisions about the next step to take. Just ask me, and then be willing to do the work with me by taking action. This archangel is Uriel, okay? So then I read Mr. Thomas's book. And there is a purpose of why I'm telling you all these personal things. Dedication to the author. The second dedication was done by Pastor Brian Waller, and he talks about Mr. Thomas, and he says, the caliber of mentors who has played a pivotal role in shaping his journey. We talked about that last week. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Who are you spending time with? He also says his commitment to excellence combined with the passion for uplifting others has established him as a beacon of success. His commitment to excellence combined with a passion for uplifting others has established him as a beacon for success. And I'm not going to read you the book because you need to do this yourself. But in here, Mr. Thomas says, I decided that afternoon. I decided. What do we talk about when we do mindset in training, right? Make a decision. He decided. And then he talks about how we have a choice. We have a choice. And again, I'm not reading the book because I want you to experience this yourself. But my notes are relevant to the conversation. Okay. He's set on learning. He says, I decided to study what they did through reading books and attending seminars. And then I applied the information. To my surprise, technique works. So here at ACN, what are our tools? We read books, right? But attending seminars, those are the trainings. Those are these leadership calls. But then did you hear what he said here? Then I applied, I don't need my glasses, it's big. Then I applied the information. To my surprise, the technique works. You guys, what Mr. Thomas teaches us to do, the very simple things he teaches us to do, turns a profit, right? So then, nope, decided not to read that part. Okay. Pac-Man, I love Mrs. Pac-Man. Okay, here's the thing. He talks about getting to the next level. When we learn, apply, repeat, learn, apply, repeat, learn, apply, repeat. And then you get to move up to the next level. I don't know if you've ever played Pac-Man or Mrs. Pac-Man. You know, when you move up to the next level, you do it, right? The bells go off. And if you die, it goes, right? That's not what you want to hear. And it's scary because I haven't played Pac-Man in probably like 30 years and I still know the sounds. Right? Like you're going around. You guys, our life could be a game of Pac-Man in that it's that. So for those of you who've never played Pac-Man, there might be some young people in this call. So there's like Pac, and you have to eat all the little dots before the little creatures come in and eat you and kill you, right? You have to avoid, right? So in ACN, you can see the screen, you can see the path, you can identify where to go. You see the creatures coming at you. Those are the negative people in your life trying to catch you and bring you down as you gobble through the pieces and go through the maze in order to clear the entire screen and make it to the next level. So avoid the negative people, avoid the little creatures trying to eat you. But guess what? When it happens, when you have a moment where you feel doubt, you feel sad, you feel insecure, you feel all of those things, and you hear wah, 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 wah. Here's what's cool. Put another quarter in and start your game all over, right? The level in which you reached, you get to start there. And then when you accomplish and you eat all the little dots before the negative people get you, you hear the bell go off and you get to move to the next level. Okay. So my point of this is that when we use the tools like Mr. Thomas, when he gives us these tools, these are the things that we can learn and process. He says the reason most people fail is because they rush through the process. They never practice what they learn. They rush through the process. Okay, now, questions for you all. Okay, these are the questions as I ask them, I want you to kind of repeat them to yourself. Well, you can say it out loud because you're all muted. I want you to repeat them. And then I want you to ask yourself. I want you to be honest with yourself and ask yourself these questions. Are you consulting your mentors? Plural. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So who are your 5? Is Mr. Thomas one of them? Is he? Because if he's not, wow, right? He's one of mine. He's one of Miss Driscoll. She had an opening in this, right? All the top producing people in ACN consult Mr. Thomas. So if all of the top producing people in ACN have conversations with Mr. Thomas how to be successful, why wouldn't all of you, right? So are you consulting your mentors? Are you, when you consult with your mentors, are you declaring your goals, your desires, your wishes? Are you throwing it out there? Because I guarantee you this, a good mentor is going to hold you accountable. Now, we hold people accountable differently. We all have different styles of holding people accountable. But when you consult with your mentors and you declare your goals, you tell them your deepest, darkest desires and wishes, we will absolutely help you with shape whatever that's going to look like. As you consult with your mentors, are you sharing your concerns? Are you sharing your challenges in life? Not just in ACN, but in life. Because that emotional roller coaster we talk about, right, that we all go on, you guys, listen, we get it. We do ACN part-time, around your schedules, around your careers, all that, in order to be able to have more choices in your life. But as ACN happens, life still happens. Mr. P says, Mr. Provenzano, president of the company, for those of you who are new, says God, family, then ACN, in that order. And so as life is happening, as long as you continue to communicate with your mentors, we can help guide you both in ACN, but also support you and love you and help you through the challenges that are going through your life, like Mr. Thomas is helping me with mine. Okay. Okay. This is a big one. Are you listening to your mentors? Are you listening to your mentors and other people when other people and your mentors identify your qualities? Are you listening? Do you know the difference between hearing and listening? Hearing is passive, it's involuntary. Listening is active, intentional process of making sense of the information. I'll say that again. Hearing is passive and voluntary, like you hear sounds, right? Listening is active, intentional process of making sense of the information, of the sounds. So when your mentors, and just everybody, when somebody gives you a compliment, when somebody identifies your qualities, are you listening to them? And the next question is, are you believing them? Because some of you, when I give you a compliment, I can see it in your eyes that you don't believe me. And you know what's interesting? One of my God's gifts is to see the qualities people have inside of themselves and to put up the mirror to identify it. It's one of my gifts. That's just a gift he's given me. When I was a therapist, mental health therapist years ago before my daughter was born, doing ACN, that's part of how ACN has fulfilled my life is when I stopped being a mental health therapist. I wanted to change the world. And then my daughter was born and I took 5 months off. And when I went back, I sat with my first patient or client, and he was a murderer. That was fine. That part didn't bother me. I had been around criminals my whole life. My dad's in law enforcement, and I worked in jail and juvenile hall. But what ended up happening was when I went home, I realized the energy exchange. I couldn't bring work to home to my infant. Okay. So I left the career. My husband, my soon to be ex-husband, he was very supportive at the time, and he supported me. And so, but there was a window of time in which I was missing something. And when ACN was introduced to my life, and I realized it's a leadership business, I realized it's a business where you have an opportunity to impact other people's lives by pulling out their qualities. It was exciting to me because I'm now able to continue to fulfill my God-given gift to change the world. So when somebody says to you, oh my gosh, I see XYZ quality in you, are you believing them? Because when you start to believe what others say about you, you grow and you get to pull out those gifts. See, we're not giving you the gifts. God already gave them to you, right? But we get to hold up a mirror so you can see what the rest of us see. And we hold up that mirror long enough. And if you choose to start to believe it, you will choose to embrace all of who you are. So I'm gonna tell you a story. He doesn't know I'm gonna use his name, but there's a gentleman on this call. He's on the call all the time by the name of Douglas Wolf. Many of you know him, okay? So I've had the privilege of working with Douglas for years now. He, in our marketplace, he does our audio, video stuff. Without Douglas, like, there's no marketplace, okay? And you've all heard my big joke, right? Like, he'll mic me up, and then right before I go up, he'll make sure my mic is on, and he'll go, okay, Mrs. Roeder, you're hot. And I'll go, thank you, right? And then everybody laughs and whatever. So Douglas Wolf has been amazing, but he's always kind of been, he always shows up, but he was always kind of in the background, making sure things were running. And when Douglas and I have private moments, I would say to him all the qualities I would see in him. And he would be, a little shy about it or whatever. And then there was this like switch, like the light bulb went on. And one day I think he finally listened and he finally believed me. And watching Douglas grow, I get the chills, watching Douglas grow and develop and become the amazing ACN leader he's designed to be. His team is taking off. He's getting more customers. Like, I'm telling you right now, he is so impactful. But it took, I don't even know how many conversations for me to hold up that mirror to him to say, I see your qualities. Other people see your qualities. And when he believed it, there was a switch that happened and momentum. And he is absolutely not only changing his own life, but he's changing the lives of other people. So let me end with this. Are you looking for qualities in other people? And if you are, or you happen to see them, if you're not looking, are you expressing them to other people? See, it's a God-given talent that he gave me to see. And I use my words because I express, I'm a tool. I'm one of God's tools. So my words are through what I say it's a message from God. It sounds weird, but you know what I mean? But anyway, are you looking for qualities in other people? And if not, when you decide to do that, if you decide to do that, I'm telling you right now, it feels so good to be able to look into somebody and see their qualities and then express those qualities. Interesting to watch other people's faces, disbelief, shock, because sometimes people don't ever get to hear that from anybody, right? Other people, you just, like, wow, even you guys give me compliments all the time, and I appreciate that. And I'm teaching myself to, I've taught myself to accept your compliments and all of that with humility, however. So, but my point being is that when you start to look for and then articulate, actually express the qualities you see in other people, that might be the one moment that changes their life forever. That simple compliment, that simple identity of something, because you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what they're being told otherwise, right? Their flaws versus their qualities. So, are you consulting your mentors? Are you declaring what you want? Are you finding people to confide in to help you on that emotional roller coaster? Are you listening when people give you compliments? And are you going to start believing us when we give you those compliments and identify your qualities? And then are you going to turn around and do the same for other people and be a blessing to somebody else? So, Mr. Thomas, I can't thank you enough for the book, for your continued wisdom, for your strength, for your love, for your encouragement. You know, you guys, if you, I'm getting totally emotional here, on your journey to your next level, just know that whether you talk to him that day or not, you do have Mr. L. Thomas standing just slightly beside you, because if you teeter back a little bit, he's got you. He's going to catch you. He's going to hold you. He's going to hold you steady so that you can keep moving forward. That is the man that we are all blessed to have in our lives. And if you're not using him as your biggest tool, I don't know what to tell you. So with that, Mr. Thomas, I'm going to turn the call back to you.